Sorry, my eye scratched. My eye itches. Oh, it's such a cool way to start. Something like different. I wash my hair. I know, guys, I wash my hair. Gosh. When I get into a new project, it consumes me, and then that's really where I go. That's why my house looks the way it does half the time. That's why my health gets the way it does sometimes. Why my relationships get that way sometimes is I have a hyper focus. And that's okay. Yeah, so I washed my hair. And I considered just coming on with it as is because it was actually a big, massive frizz. And my hair is like to my waist. So I, in fact, look like a lion when I wake up. If I haven't, flattened it and all that stuff. I tried to tame it a bit. Anyway. So, I guess after the video yesterday, maybe I'll start sharing there. That's what's coming up. I had about 4 hours of, I think because right before I went on the video, something just came up and it was just like, glad you're sharing, this is great, and now start owning you, us, this center, this calling, this whatever. So just start talking about it. And so that's what I did. And then afterwards I had about 4 hours of I don't have a word for it, which is unusual. I feel like I could paint a picture of it. I could make a movie of it. So the space that you get when you start realizing that this is just total bullshit. And it doesn't matter what it says, it's not true. It may have a memory or a skill to tell you, basically to spit out what you've already learned. So that may be like, hey, put the key in the ignition, start driving. It can tell you things like that. It can repeat what it's learned. So anything it tells you isn't true for who you are. And it can say, you're beautiful, you're so happy, you're so fun, you're so intelligent, you're weak, you're pathetic, you're lazy, you're not going anywhere, no one likes you, you're fat, everyone's judging you. Neither way is true. And they're actually relevant because the soul is all encompassing, it's present, and it doesn't have a preference of either thing. It just loves what is. It's just the mind that makes it feel separate by talking about it all the time. So I was in that space for 4 hours, and every time I would try, and my mind was just like, well, okay, well then what are we doing? And are we this? Are we doing this? And my mind couldn't even attach to an adjective. It didn't feel right. Like nothing, it just, all the words kept dropping away because my soul was like, yeah, we're none of that. We're none of the human language game. We're not that. We may help describe something, but we're not that. We're all of it and none of it. Yeah, so I've gone to that place several times. It's not a norm. It's a normal place. I would say most people don't go there. Can everyone get there? I'm pretty sure they can. Is it an otherworldly feeling and experience? Yes. And it's something that transforms the world. And I think that will be explained in the book. So I can only touch on things now because there's just no time to explain what I'm talking about. And I'd actually like to process it out so that I'm very clear in what I'm saying. So while that place is magical, the brain is just like, but it doesn't have anywhere to grab, so it's kind of fun. It's like, can't get me, can't get me. I mean, that's really how you feel, because it's kind of funny, is it can't come up with anything. It's like, what about this? It's like, nope, nope. And it's a new space, so it's uncomfortable, but it's also just presence and love, and it's not joy, it's not happiness, it's not any of those things. It's, maybe I'll have words for it in the book. So, I've had that happen several times. What I'm doing differently this time, or newly, is I'm practicing not listening here and really getting down here. So I'm creating a muscle to actually be able to stay in that space. And while the space is great, it's very hard to bring language back for it. And that is, I think, kind of the intention that's coming out, is to be able to explain to people what it is, why it matters, and how you can get there. And I'm probably not going to say go meditate for a week. I'm probably not going to say eat this or do that or whatever. I don't like gimmicks. I don't like how-to lists. I don't like any of that crap. Don't like it. So this is going to come up with a way to give access to that. That's what I'm being told anyway. And the other thing I'm noticing is that afterwards, my mind did start to take off more, like, okay, we said that stuff on the video, which I don't have a clear remembering of what I say. So it just kind of wants to pick random crap. And I could listen to it again and go, you're such a liar, didn't even say that. So stupid, right? So if we could watch the conversations we have with people, we'd be laughing, because can you imagine all the things we've attacked and thought about people? And if you rewatched it, they very likely may not have said what they said, and you probably didn't either. Yet we go around and beat the shit out of each other over stuff we don't actually remember. So my mind is picking on me about, well, great, we need a direction now. Like, you said those things, now what? Now what? Now what? And the thing is, I'm just not going to a label. I'm not. This soul doesn't have a label, and it doesn't care. It just is coming forward. And I think I said I'm along for the ride, and I'll talk to you about it, and that's what's happening. So while the mind is freaking out, what I notice is I go to those places of just total presence, and then when that happens a lot of times with people, if they do get there, then when they're out of it, they freak, because they think they have to get back there. I don't have the experience of needing to get back there. I'm just trying to learn to integrate it, because being human is fun too. The quirks are fun too. So it's all good. I'm not trying to eliminate the human aspect, because the human stuff is what we fall in love with. Who I get to be with you guys, even if I'm crying, even if I feel broken in front of you, is the part of me I can actually love, because I can access it. If I'm tough and strong and powerful and present and what the fuck? That's great, but who could get near me? I can't get near me, and I won't rely on anyone. I don't need anyone. Perfection is made up. I was actually thinking the other day, if we took the word perfect out, wouldn't we have a more perfect world? I mean, seriously, if you couldn't use the word perfect, wouldn't things just feel far more perfect? I think so. So what I'm seeing is I get these great spaces, or these interesting spaces, and then my mind comes in, but where I'm not is, oh my gosh, this elation, this joy, this is, I can do all this, everything's gonna work. It's not there, because that's not real either. That's an addictive feeling. Joy, happiness, whatever, they're not authentic. They're on the realm of emotion, and they're here to be experienced. But you better feel it, because mostly we just talk about it and grab at it. And even when it's happening, like we're at a party or something great's happening, we're like, I'm happy, I'm finally happy. You get married, you meet a new person, I'm happy, happy, I'm happy. But you don't actually sit and just feel what that feels like, because it actually will ground you in being present again. And you can actually enjoy it, because if you're happy, your mind is right behind going, you're happy now. And then what? And then what? Yeah, the shoe's going to drop. Always does. Always does. And so your mind will start searching for where it's going to drop, where it's going to drop. And it will. So I'm feeling what's here. And then when this comes in, it's not going as low because I'm not listening to it the same way. I'm watching it, but I'm not listening to it. And then I just let myself feel what that feels like. So this high is coming here and the low is rising. So I'm hitting a much better equilibrium. I don't have the headaches I had. I've been having for weeks. I don't have this back thing I've had for about 2 months when I fell. I've had energy all day, every day. I've been getting up at 5 and I go to bed around 10 or so. I had no energy before that. None. What I think that comes down to is my level of presence is like, in a 24-hour day, maybe you're present for 5 minutes a day, if you're lucky, because we run an autopilot, which is run from up here. And I'm here, so I'm present far more. So an example of that is, when you can have the flu, or you feel like crap, or even you can have terrible fatigue. Like I had I don't know what you call it, I guess fibromyalgia for about 3 years. And I've had different things, my whole life. The problem with any of that was I saw that I had moments when I should have felt the pain and I didn't feel the pain. Someone could shut my door that I wanted to see or talk to, or a phone call came, or all of a sudden I had a project I wanted to do, and boom. And I'm not saying the pain's not real. I know what pain is. I could write a documentary on the pain I've been through. I don't think there's an ailment I haven't had to the extremes. But I couldn't help but notice that when I was present, I didn't feel that stuff. So then I kept saying, well, then what is it going to take to be present more often? Because being present, I really feel like it's the word it is, because it is the biggest gift you can give yourself. And practicing that. And the ways to practice that are feeling your feelings. When you feel really happy and elated, take a moment and then feel it. Don't talk about it. Don't celebrate it. Feel it. And then the natural way that your soul wants to express it powerfully will. And then it starts to integrate and feel normal. This joy, elation, doesn't actually feel normal. It feels like a drug. And that's why I try and chase it all the time. Same with, if you're low, feel that, and then you'll rise up. If it's high, feel it, and you'll come down to equilibrium. People go, well, that's not fun. It actually is, because you get this, basically you're on your own side now. You have your back. You're all in there, ready to handle whatever comes your way. And one thing about that is you start to experience, there's the whole saying about, the universe doesn't do anything to you, it does it for you, or something like that. When you're present, that's true, and you can experience it. And you feel that connection, and you just feel grateful. Yesterday I bit into the side of my cheek, big chunk. Like you stub your toe and then all the swords came out. Yep, and that started, and then all of a sudden I wasn't listening here, I just sunk in and I just felt that in my cheek. And because I wasn't fighting it, and that shouldn't have happened, and God darn, like that, I just felt it. And I had the tears there, and then all of a sudden just a smile came on my face, and that sounds nuts. Sounds airy-fairy, bullshit, whatever. I know. Ugh. I don't like that stuff. But you feel it as just an experience that you couldn't have if you didn't have a body. And pain is on the spectrum of emotions, and you can't have one without the other. It's not possible in physics, In theory, in anything, you have to have both. So you can be pissed about pain, but you cannot have anything else that resembles presence or happiness or comfort or anything if you don't know what that is. And you can have a more full experience of it if you've felt it all. Because life isn't about being happy. It's not about feeling happy all the time. That's an addiction. It's an addictive feeling. You're not present if you're just happy all the time. I'll have to explain more about that. But it's about feeling fully. So whatever emotion comes through goes right back out. If you're feeling happy and then you're like, I'm happy, hold on to it. It gets stuck in here and then it becomes a resistance part of you all the time. And the second you think you're not going to feel happy, it gets all jacked up in your body. And same with when you're feeling sad. If you just feel sad, it processes right back through out of you. And then you come back to your equilibrium state. But you've got to feel the expanse of the experience of being alive. Oh, I can't wait to write this whole thing on being present. Being present gives you more business. It gives you more dates than you could ever want. If you came out looking like a mangy dog and you were present, you would have people following you and be asked out. That ain't no bullshit. I could give you 100 examples because I've tested the theory over and over and over and in a million different ways. I mean, I want evidence before I talk to people about stuff. I don't give them theories. I will give you hard evidence that I've tested. Because what I tell people, I want to feel confident and I want to make a difference for them. And then I feel like I could actually help them if they ask me a question back about it. It's just not like, well, I don't know, it's just a thing I said or I read about it. No, I did it again and again and again. Okay, so I'm going to leave it there. So today, when you feel super happy, feel happy. Don't judge it. Don't listen to you better hang on to it and this is so amazing, the best moment of my life. Feel happy. Then feel it. If it's so great, feel it. Feeling down, feel it. These will start to come this way, and that's where life gets powerful. And miracles start happening all day. So try it. Present is your gift.